Hello and welcome. Today it's about designing cards, overlays for cards with a little imagination, with Phantasie, which you can use for cards or in your journal. I really choose some forest and star motifs because I want to create something fantastical things, and you can use it for different cards or an album or journal. In theory, you can also use the cards as a topper for Christmas cards. For example, you could write magical greetings or something similar. Of course, this can also be used as a card for birthdays, for children, or for a fairy album. There are so many possibilities. That's why I haven't stuck my overlays on cards yet, because I don't know exactly what I want to use them for. All of my card toppers have the same beginning, although they look very different afterwards. First I take Distress Oxide Ink, it is mustard seed, and a stencil from 13 Arts, and I use again my brush. In the stencils are stars and they are arranged as a swirl, and I color them all the same. And I think it is a nice thing for fantastical cards or also for Christmas cards. Here you can see that I made 4 toppers with the same stencil. Only one is colored blue at the edges so far. So you can see the colors I used in the video. I'm going now to use a Stampin' Up stamp set, and you can see everything else in the video, how I use it and which colors I will use for my stamping. I use embossing ink for this star stamp, and I will later emboss it with golden embossing powder. I will also use different Versafine inks later, and this ink does not dry so quickly on the paper, so that you can use embossing powder directly on it without stamping it again with embossing ink. I put clear embossing powder on the ink, and then you can see the color underneath very well. This is also a good trick if you don't want to buy so many different colored embossing powders. I don't have so many embossing powders, and so I use the trick of embossing directly onto Versafine or Distress Oxides often. The clear embossing powders allow the colors underneath to show through, and it almost looks as if different embossing powders were used. In addition, these places are then protected. You can then color over it with distress inks or distress oxide inks and wipe them away, the excess away from the embossed areas. And yeah, I think it is a nice idea, and I told you now this little trick by the way. This detailed stamp is so pretty, and you can color it really well too. I take my water tank brush and use the Distress Oxide ink. For the next topper, I'll use a stamp from Lavinia. You can see in a moment how I will create a small scene with this stamp and also another one. I also used a little bunny from the LaBlanche set. It is a stamp set with birds and cats and also with rabbits. And this is a beautiful silhouette stamp, and I use different sets. But that doesn't matter at all. You have to see what you have at your home and what might go together. Lavinia has also some adorable rabbits, but I don't have them, and so I'll take the rabbit that's available. I would like to protect this stamp imprint, and that is why I will now use my clear embossing powder directly on the black Versafine. This one gives a beautiful shining effect, and the spot is protected when I color it further. This is the Wow embossing powder I used, and now you can see the beautiful effect. So far, I've always kept all the stamps I used in the picture, in the camera, but I would like to mention again what I used. The fir trees are from a stamping set and the bunny is from LaBlanche and the fairy stamp is from Lavinia. I'm still coloring with my inks. The main character should be standing on something so that they don't appear to be floating in the air. Yeah. And now I think I'm done with that and starting with the next topper. Again, I use scrap paper and take the brush and create a background with my ink. So far, I like this scene a lot, but somehow I'm missing something in the middle. That's why I decided to use this set. These stamps are from Claritystamps. I will emboss the stamp with Versafine ink and again I will use clear embossing powder. I then have a shimmer and this little image is well protected for all the things I will do later on, and you will see what I'm doing now. Again, I use different stamps from Claritystamps. I use clear embossing powder, but I didn't like some shades of color, and I used an not an aqua marker, an alcohol marker. It holds very well on embossed areas. An aqua marker wouldn't help, and you must use an alcohol marker for embossed areas. Now, these are my results. I used the same stencil in the beginning, and finally I have 4 different cards. They look a little bit fantasy-like, but you can use them very well as topper for your birthday cards, children cards, whatever you want. And you can make a set with the 4 cards, and you can use the set as a gift for someone you want to give a little present. Yeah, or you can use it in an album, in a fairy album, for example. The whole thing was a lot of fun for me, and I hope I had some inspirations for you. It would be great if you like my video and subscribe to my channel if you want. I'm always very happy to receive a small comment. And yeah, that's it for today. Some imaginations, fantasy, and I wish you a wonderful day and happy crafting. Bye for now.